All right, everybody, we are live right here in Southwest Houston. I got the president of Jack Gates Men of Ballot, Mr. Ronnie Branch. And Ronnie, next month we got our Jack Gates Men of Ballot May 14th.
Yes.
And that's our May 14th Jack Gates Men of Ballot luncheon at Luby'S Cafeteria.
9797 South Post Oak and 610 in the Meyer Park Shopping Center.
All right. And then, now this here now, since Luby'S is not serving breakfast now, so therefore we have to make it to a luncheon, and our luncheon starts at 11 p.m. still at 9 a.m.
Yeah, 11 a.m. instead of 9 a.m.
And then let's talk about May 14th, what we got coming over here at Luby'S Cafeteria in the Jack Gates Men of Ballot. What are we putting together for this next month of our Jack Gates Men of Ballot meeting?
Well, because in the past we've had quite a few of our Jack Gates lines, what we call fallen lines for the past. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be recognizing them because they always came to our breakfast. And what we're going to do is we're going to have their pictures on a board with the year that they graduated from Yates, and hope to have their spouses there if possible. If not their spouses, maybe some of their children. We're not sure, because I've talked to a couple of people. They say they won't be there, but they will have their children to represent them. So hopefully we will have a good turnout. Now I want to say this, that because of the pandemic, we were not able, for 2 years we were not able to have it, but now things have settled down a little bit, and we want guys to come back because this is something that's been going great for us. It'll be 8 years in September, so we want people to come back and see their classmates, because each day is a blessing from God. We never know when we will be called to go to heaven, so we want to be sure that when you get a chance to come see your classmates, that you take advantage of it. If you're going to, say for instance, if you're going to, some people say, well, I'm going to a funeral. Well, come to the luncheon for a hot minute, see your friends, talk to them, then go on to the funeral. Don't let the fact that you have to go to a funeral stop you from coming to the luncheon. We want to see everybody there, and we would really like to see more guys from the 70s. We have a lot of guys. We've had guys from the 50s and a lot of guys from the 60s, and just a few guys from the 70s. We want to see more guys from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s attending. This is not a 70s club. This is a Jack Gates Men club. So we want everybody to attend. And what will really help you, if you have some friends that graduated with you or what have you, bring them with you. You get a group of you guys and ride together and come. Don't let the fact that maybe you're incapacitated. We've had people say, well, I don't drive. Well, have somebody that does drive come pick you up. Don't let that be an excuse that because you don't drive, you're not going to be able to attend. If your wife can't bring you for whatever reason, have one of your classmates.
Ronnie, and it's so good that you started this going on 8 years ago, and a lot of guys out there that I want to make sure that we also recognize that they can't get out because of certain illness. And some of the guys that looked at these videos live out of town, and such as Walter Branch out there in California, and Sam Putney in Dallas, and Russell Richardson out there in Denver, Colorado, and all of the Jack Gates, and my cousin that lives out there in Arkansas, William Harvey, and Mr. Danny Armstrong, also is out there in Little Rock, Arkansas. These guys look at these videos and they want to come. And I want to send a special shout out to Mr. Pastor Luther Felder. He's going to try to make it down here from Atlanta, Georgia. He's one of the big members and got a big congregation out there in Atlanta. He's going to try to do his best to try to make it here, because we're going to be honoring his brother, Baby Dave Felder. It's part of the fallen lines that have always been participating in our Jack Gates Men of Ballot. And it's so nice because Reverend Felder and their family was raised up there at Trinity East out there on McGowan. So we're going to try to have him now, and we're going to try to have some more guys, and then we're going to also get into the 70s, because there's a lot of guys in the 70s, and the Sam Roy and them brother and some of the guys in the 70s, they come out pretty good. They're decent, but we need some more 70s. and also some more 80s. And I'm depending on Mr. Dennis Glenn to help me with the classes of the Elite 80s. And also be looking on Mr. Riedel Ellis to help me with the Notorious 90s. And then the Millennium Boys out of the 2000, I'm going to be looking for Jonathan Howard, which is Arva Howard's son, to help me with the 2000s.
Okay.
So this way here we can get a trend going on, because like you say, this is our legacy. And if something should happen to you or me, we got to keep this legacy going on for all of the young black kids out there, especially the males. They need male models.
Exactly.
And this is what we're trying to set, a male model, so these young black kids know how to treat a woman, know how to respect a woman, know how to respect themselves.
Exactly.
And being able to understand that they are falling on our shoulders going forward towards our fellowship of being able to be a man.
Yeah,
and be respected as a man, as a gentleman, most of all.
I think that's very important, because you have a lot of households where there is no man there, and it's hard sometimes for a woman to totally identify with a young man. I mean, she can do only just so much, but it takes a man to help raise a boy. We heard that the expression that Hillary Clinton made, that it takes a village to raise a family, and that is so true, because when we were growing up, we had the village. We had all the parents in the neighborhood helping raise all of us. So if one child did something wrong, then the neighborhood felt good enough that they could go to that kid's parents and say, Ronnie Branch is doing this, or so-and-so. You always had eyes on you. So, you weren't going to do anything that was going to cause you to get in a lot of serious trouble where you might have to end up going to jail.
And this is what we're doing, trying to bring these young kids, these young males, young men, because they have graduated from Jack Yates. And even some of the young men that go into Jack Yates, I'm going to try to get Mr. Dooley, Bob Dooley, Robert Dooley over to Jack Yates. Can he get Coach Wise to bring some of the basketball kids out and the fellowship with us, because they came before. And right after school, if we can't get them to come May, we can try to get them to come in July. But we want to talk to Mr. Dooley and see can we get some of the Jack Yates guys who's still going to Jack Yates to see how well and the legacy that they are following.
Exactly. That's something that, because like you said, we're getting older, and we won't be, we don't know how long we got on this earth, and we don't want this to die, because I'm getting older, you're getting older, and I don't want, if we were to pass, I wouldn't want this to die out. I started it, but it should not end with me. When I pass, it should continue to go on.
And that's what we're trying to do for some of the young kids that's out there. We are trying to get them to come in, and I can even show them how I video this and how we can do this, and teach them what God have already blessed me with.
Exactly.
Teach them what's going on in case something would happen to me.
Exactly.
And it's the same way with you being the president of the Jack Yates Men Development. So if something was to happen to you, or you get sick, or you passed away, somebody can feel right into your spot and keep the legacy going on, because now you and me have done something. We have left, when we leave here, we will leave a legacy.
The thing I like about this organization is, people say, well, how did you get started? Well, I had a few people, and once again, the reason we started this was because I went in August of 2014, I went to 4 funerals every weekend, and I said, this is ridiculous. The only time I see my classmates and friends that I grew up with is funerals, and that's how I started this, to have a gathering where we could all get together and see each other. And at our first one in September of 2014, we had 36 people, and I was ecstatic. I thought that was great, and we've had as many as 110. And the thing that's nice about it, people say, well, how did you get this started? Well, I might be the president, but I did not do this by myself. I had people to help me, like Rufus Browning and other.
Well, Ronnie, I remember when you first started this, or right here at your residence, and you invited me, Jerry Shepard, Marvin Neal, the late but never forgotten Carlton Land, Don Bird, Don Burns, and Danny Armstrong, Roland Cotton. You invited us over here, and you talked to us about it and told us that you was getting a place up here at the Luby'S cafeteria, and they was going to give you so much space for us to meet. And you want to keep it as an all men thing. You didn't want to keep it as mixed men and women. You wanted to keep it all men because these boys are black boys. They need a male model. Just like you say, some of these kids come from a broken home.
Exactly.
Some of them father have passed away.
Right.
So they need this kind of fathership, leadership that we are doing. And this is what we're bringing in. And it's so good that we started this running, and we got up until May. Everybody know May 14th. Is that the date? Put it on your calendar. 11 p.m.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. 11 a.m. They don't come at 11 p.m. The place be closed then. At 11 a.m., y'all, in the morning time. And this way here, you can get you a nice lunch, and you can sit down and fellowship with you guys. And one thing that I admire you about, and I really admired you about, is how you give the name tags with the year that people graduate, because certain times we don't recognize people because we all done got old. You know, most of us been out of school well over 50 years. And so we don't recognize faces. And sometimes we don't even recognize names. But when we see classes on it, it jaws back a memory. If we don't know them, we know somebody who finished in their class with them.
Yeah. One thing I want to also bring to everybody's attention: when you come to the luncheon, be sure to bring your COVID-19 shot record. This is to protect you from other people who may be infected. We don't know, so be sure to bring your card. It's not to not have people come there, but we don't want folks coming there who have not had shots and get infected other folks. So be sure to bring your shot record with you. A lot of people are taking the shot record picture on their cell phone. That way they won't have to try to remember but most of the people have it in their wallet at all times.
And you know, that's so good to know, because you are showing that we promoting safety too.
Right.
We're concerned about people's health. Just like you say, with the virus going around, we got to make sure that we are in a carefree environment.
Right. Because not only that, we've had 3 people who we recognize who have passed from COVID. To our members who have passed from COVID. So I don't want to sound the alarm, but I want everybody to know it's very important that you get your shots and your booster and be safe.
Better be safe than sorry. That's in other words. That's what we're trying to get across.
Right. And people say, well, how is this thing growing? Well, right now on our roster, we have over 520 names from 1948 to 2002.
Right.
And everything in between there. So we have a big roster. Like I said, we have a lot of people from out of town, and like you say, they look forward to these videos.
And that's the good part about it, Ronnie, is that we got documentation from the first time we had our first Jack Yates Men breakfast over there at Luby'S in September 2014. We still got that video. We got videos of documentation of every Jack Yates Men breakfast that we have held.
Right.
And some of these guys have left.
Right.
And what I done to honor those guys, such as Ben Stevenson, Carl Oliver, Zolly Scales, and some of these other guys who have passed away, I honored them by putting their name as part of the title of the Jack Yates Men of Valor. And this is something to recognize their family and even their future family, the kids or the great grandkids. They'll be able to go to Google and Google up their name and see them part of this Jack Yates Men of Valor. This is very important so people can understand what's more important on documenting this stuff, because you can't relive history. And like you say, people are leaving here every day.
Right.
And we want to have some kind of handprint on them to show them and their family and the other Jack Yates family, that these people have been part of our organization, such as Mr. Ali Kelly, such as Mr. Arthur Triplett, Mr. Coverson. Some of these guys have passed away, and I like this. While I'm here talking, Ronnie, we talk about prayers. People need to send in if they know somebody that's sick or need prayers. They need to email you at Ronnie at rbranch
044@aol.com. That's rbranch, lowercase, rbranch 044@aol.com. And the reason we want you to do that is because what has happened in the past, people have passed, and I hear about it. They've had the funeral and everything. I hear about it a couple of weeks later, and they start talking about it. And I say, I didn't know the person. Well, I thought you knew. Well, no, I didn't. If a person, just because I'm the president of the Breakfast Club, doesn't mean I know everything about everybody.
But
and that's why they need to let me know.
But see, this is the reason why we're doing this social media, to get the word out there for them to let you know. You know, we talked about Miss Lillian Harrington, Jack Yates class of 1968. She's connected in with you.
Right.
We got to get Miss Audrey Jordan Williams, Jack Yates class of 1965, so she can get connected with you.
Right.
We got to get Miss Dolores Johnson, who just joined our Jack Yates page of Fabulous 50. Miss Dolores Johnson, who finished in Jack Yates class of 1958. We need to get her to get into your email, because these are the people that keeps up with a lot of prayers and things that's going on with our classmates.
Exactly.
And for them to be able to push it forward, they have to come and email it to you, and from you, then I can get it, and then I can put it on social media, because prayers are answered.
Exactly.
And the more prayers you get, the more answers you're going to get from God.
Exactly.
So they need, and I say this because I know I was struggling with the COVID-19 in 2020, you know, and 2020, really 2021. And man, I don't know if I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it without all the prayers that came towards help and praying for me to get out of this virus that I had. I had to go way up to Austin, because they didn't have no rooms here in Houston for me. You know, so I'm saying this because we need to find out these people who need prayers. And you know, while I'm saying this, I want to make a special prayer out, and I want everybody to listen to my voice. I want you guys to pray for my good friend, Mr. Walter Branch, up there in San Francisco, California. He need our prayers, y'all. I need for prayers to go out to Mr. Perry Hall, Jack Yates class of 1965. Also, Mr. Danny Armstrong, class of 1965. Please, Facebook family, Jack Yates family, please pray for these guys and their family, because they meant so much to Jack Yates, and they meant so much to Third Ward. And we need all the prayers, and I want to make sure that Miss Audrey Jordan and also Miss Dolores Johnson be able to make a contact with you. And I know that Mr. Robert Jones will help me out. And I know Miss Ava Anderson over there at Jack Yates 65. I got plenty love over there at 65 that can help us to make sure that we can keep these. And I'll get with Mr. Dennis Glenn, because he know a lot of people. Because all these people ain't passing our age, Ronnie. Some of these people are younger than us. Some of these people came out of Jack Yates in the 90s. I ain't even seen things in the Jack Yates alumni where some of these guys came out in 2000s.
Exactly.
We don't care what year they came out. Just like they say, JY for life. And that is a true statement. Once you are JY, you are a lifetime JY to the day you leave here.